This is Rich Homie Meat, and I need you to get in the mix with the Westside Misfits every Sunday from 3 to 5 p.m. Gone on, you know it.
Sitting in my room, waiting for the afternoon so I can finally tune in with my friends. Talk about good times, music, laughs, and easy vibes. You can share whatever's on your mind. 'Cause we're just misfits, regardless of your distance. You can always find a place called home on Misfits Radio.
Westside Misfits. You're independent, this the mix, you need to get up in it. 3 to 5, the show be lit from start to finish. Hit them up to slide through and promote your business. DJ Lab known to keep the hottest record spinning. Mix a lot and Tay Mac discuss the hottest topic. There's not a 2000 to let you know what's really poppin'. Miss Lit gon' make sure she get the angles right. Making moves even though she staying out of sight. Check the website, Misfits Media Group. Keep it 100 cause that's how they gon' give it to you. Something for anyone and everyone from every walk. 365, 24/7, got music and talk. Sundays, you know we getting in the mix. 3 to 5 with Westside Misfits. Kick facts, play music, and talk slick. Tell a friend to tell a friend, they get in the mix. Tell a friend to tell a friend, they get in the mix. Tell a friend to tell a friend, they get in the mix. Sundays, you know we getting in the mix. From 3 to 5 with Westside Misfits. We in the mix, we in the mix, we in the mix.
Yeah.
3 to 5, we in the mix.
You are officially in the mix, baby. I am Miss Mix-a-Lot.
I am DJ Lab.
And you know we got Select 316 in the building. And guess who else is over here?
Right? Who's that?
Our co-host, Kate Lady.
That's right.
What's up?
That's right, man. We have had 2 of our favorite Virgos had a birthday here the way. One of them you just heard. On the intro. My name's Shaw. His birthday was yesterday.
That's right.
And Dozenata's birthday was Friday.
That's right.
Yes, honey.
We gotta get him to drop in as a guest now.
And look, let me tell you what's so crazy. So let me tell you. So let me just say this. So my brother did an interview with the podcast. I can't even remember the name of it. However it went. So after I watched it, it was a good interview. But ain't no interview like a Westside Misfits interview with Dozenata in the building.
That's right.
You understand? So I called and cussed his ass out. And I was like, you so lame. He was like, what? Hello? So I was like, yeah, you lame. I was like, our interviews are way better. He was like, you know what, you right. Mm-hmm. He was like, man, y'all should let me come back. I was like, we never told you to leave. What
you left on your own. That was your own discretion.
Your vehicle did something crazy and you said that you couldn't make it. And now that you got another vehicle, you need to be making it.
And you live closer.
And he was like, you know what? I'm coming back. He was like, I ain't think y'all wanted me back. I was like, you so lame. And you
like real lame for that though,
right.
You real lame.
Like I don't talk to you every day.
You real lame.
But I understood why he felt the way that he felt. Because you know how sometimes when you feel, it's kind of like guilt to a certain extent. When you know that nobody ain't did that to you, but you had to remove yourself for personal reasons and now you want to come back.
Right.
But a lot of people don't accept you back.
Man, right. But we
like
family.
That.
Exactly.
We
but
family.
He the original.
He knows that.
Original.
He knows that, like, dude, you're my brother. What are you talking about?
Right. And you my brother from another mother.
Exactly. So it was just really weird. But however, he'll be back.
All right.
He'll be back soon too, man. Whew. Let me just say this. Last weekend, me and Lab both were booked, child. We couldn't do no show.
That's right.
We were both booked, man. But
and here I is coming in the house at 4 o'clock in the morning, rolling my ass up out of bed.
Man, we be forgetting.
Let me tell you
Try
something.
to show our head, not our heart. We be really be busy.
Let me tell you. So I get a phone call.
Right back to sleep.
Because I was booked for oh man, and we gotta talk about that a little bit too. I was booked for a wedding reception. and I was booked to bartend, and Lab was booked to do live streaming for the radio station. So, baby, it was just a lot. So, a lot of times, you know, we try to support each other, but it's hard when it, you know, when it's just us. But what I will say is this: y'all wedding people need to make sure you got the right people doing your wedding planning and your wedding stuff.
Oh, let's talk about it.
So this is the third time, honestly, that I have, and I've been bartending for a very long time, as you guys already know. Real at 20 years now, because Real is what, 19? Yeah, my baby had a birthday. She's 19, so
you getting old, girl.
Yeah.
Your daughter is 19.
19, my baby.
Yeah.
So it was so weird because I've been in this game for a minute, and only 3 times have I realized that sometimes when you try to cut corners, you really ain't cutting corners.
You fucking up.
You're fucking up. So it was a lot going on. The thing about it was the wedding reception was at a very cute little place that we should probably try to see what's going on there, because it was a nice venue.
So you could do like birthdays?
You could do whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. It's a very nice venue. But what happened is the person that was cooking was also the person that was decorating. Was also the person.
Hold on, that was the first mistake.
Was also the person that did the cake. That was also the person. It was.
Lord.
Wait a minute. That was way too. The only way I can say you can have a company. Let me put that in quotations. Doing multiple things. If you got say Labs is in charge of the cooking.
You have to know that you need a team.
Right, and then
team.
and Slick would be in charge of the cake. You know, you have a company, but you got different people in charge of that.
What basically happens though with the bartender, which is usually me, is that they think I'm with the damn caterer.
Oh, right.
I'm not what? I shot out here by myself.
Right.
So they asking me about stuff I have no idea about.
Because a lot of times when you go to these events, the caterer usually brings the bartender.
I can understand that.
Or they'll ask the DJ.
But goddamn it, ask.
Or they'll ask DJ. I've been to a wedding reception. They was like, so what's next? I was like, I don't know. I'm finna play the music.
Right. Man, let me tell you something. Having the right kind of wedding coordinator is very important. Everybody knowing their roles are very important. And because it's very distasteful. Like, this is the thing. Especially when it's the groom's folks. I have seen it go real bad.
Real quick.
Real quick. When it was the groom's people. Now, you know, because I don't know why it's a difference. When when the woman has done everything, I guess she feel like, okay, I can just blame myself. But when the husband step in and say, my cousin can do this, my friend can do this, and they don't deliver, they overplay it and under deliver.
Right.
Yeah. So be careful with that, please.
I was the coordinator for my own shit when I got married, because I just knew how I was.
But that's crazy as hell.
But I found people to do what I needed to do, but I coordinated my own wedding, and at the actual wedding event, I told somebody else what to do, and
from beginning to end.
Sometimes, that's what I had to do.
From beginning to end. If you're gonna let somebody be a wedding coordinator, let them do their damn job.
I was my wedding coordinator.
I can't. The last wedding that we went to, where the person was their own wedding coordinator, DJ Lab can tell you, it was a whole hot ass mess.
Hot, meaning literally.
It was burning up, no air.
My
in the middle of July,
shut down. It was so hot.
And I'm talking about, there's when you're a bride and you want a ceremony,
right,
baby, don't try to do all of that yourself.
I tried to hire a coordinator when I got married. The coordinator wasn't coordinating, so I had to fire her.
It's a billion coordinators out here.
Well, but you remember, I was a kid when I got married.
I remember that, but I'm talking about what I have witnessed. Baby, get you a well-renowned wedding coordinator, somebody that's gonna make your dreams come true. Because if you don't, you're gonna regret it.
Don't get Shanika a cousin. All right.
Baby, I did a wedding reception one time. The girl was frying chicken, and the wedding was going on.
At the wedding? Was the chicken even done?
The bride was frying chicken.
The bride was not frying chicken. It was the groom had hired his childhood friend to cater the event, and they were already like an hour late starting the event. Finally, the caterer get there and ain't no chicken fried. You got these beans that you got out of
the can. Oh hell nah! In my Ryan camera.
Exactly. You got these beans that you get out the can, and ain't got nothing to go on. No salt, no pepper. No.
You know what? I went to a wedding. That was.
I don't like it.
That was in Clayton County.
I refuse to believe that shit is okay. Lab.
I went to a wedding. Now that you say that, I went to one that was a storefront, one of them little storefront events halls. You know what I'm talking about? They be in the plaza. I went to one, and when we got there, they started cooking. They was cooking during the wedding. So when I left out,
you smelled like the guy. Yeah. When I left there, I smelled like a barrel of fried chicken.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I was like, what is happening? Because the kitchen...
That was the craziest thing in the world to me. These folk waited until...
They got there.
They got there to fry the chicken.
It was like the event was going... It was only one big room. So the wedding was happening here. And then next door was... Say that room over there was the kitchen. And then we had this little bitty corner right there where the couch was at. Get you
a wedding coordinator and get you some people with contracts. Let me just say this: when you book me to bartend your party, you're going to get a contract. That contract is going to tell you how much we agreed on to pay, and it's going to tell you what's all included. Don't come up to me. I automatically bring certain things to events because I know these are things that people will forget and have to send somebody out for.
Ice is one.
So I always come with my own ice. I always come with my own set of cups to start everything off. And I come with my straws because I know, these are things that people will forget and have to send somebody back for. But baby, after I don't use a pack of 50 cups, please don't ask me do I have any more.
Oh, wow.
Because I wasn't supposed to bring them anyway. What we doing?
Right.
You got the same contract I got. God made you.
Right.
And if you told me your event starts at 5 o'clock, I'm going to get there at 4. No later than 4:15. Now, that time before 5 o'clock is not included in your 4 hours that I have told you I will be there.
Right.
It ain't my fault you didn't start at 6 o'clock.
Right.
I get ready to go, and everybody go, well, where you going? I bartend for 4 hours.
Right.
Unless you want to pay more.
Right. They don't understand that. Like, even when I DJ.
We started late. Baby, that don't have nothing.
Do with me.
Baby, I been here since 4:15. At 5:30, I was really livid that y'all hadn't got started. But I didn't say nothing because this ain't my event. And I was going to be here till 9 o'clock anyway.
Right.
So, just because y'all got started after the time that you told me the party start, that don't elongate my time being here.
The one thing that they say to me when I DJ that I don't like is, you're not going to play no music while we clean up. Hell no, I got to go.
I got to clean up.
Like, don't you see all these cords I had to bring and all this electrical shit?
So what I suggest for the DJ, and this is just me, is to possibly get a Bluetooth speaker.
Nah, I got Bluetooth speakers. I'm not doing that.
What I'm saying,
because you would need to charge more for that.
What I'm saying is, I'm just saying it could be a part of. I don't know, but people
charge more.
I have Bluetooth speakers.
If you want me to play music during the cleanup, it's gonna be a cleanup fee. Like the cleanup fee.
Because
okay.
regardless if they clean up and I play a Bluetooth speaker, I still got to clean up. And how long is it? I still got to get my stuff together.
Right.
And how long is it going to take them to clean up? Because regardless, I'm leaving when I'm done.
When I'm
packing
done,
my
right?
shit.
No, I'm not saying stay any longer. The only thing I'm saying is like I don't know. I just don't know, but I do understand.
That's outside of your 4 hours, right? Because
I don't know. Well, you DJ, you go for 4 hours too, or how does that go for you?
Well, they tell me how long it's going to be.
Right.
I ask how long first before I even give them a price.
I went to
Okay.
Because there's no set 4 hours. Like it's no set. Like I don't do 4 hour minimums. Like they say, well, it's gonna be a 3 hour party. Okay, well, it's gonna be this price for 3 hours.
Yeah,
now, if it's
I
somebody
don't
I
do
know,
no more than 4
Right.
unless they pay
right.
for the.
Now I've done 6 hour parties, which
I
is
don't-
fine, but they pay the 6 hour price.
Yeah, I have done a few 6 hour parties, and that's what made me come up with I don't want to do over 4 hours. Period. Like if you want to pay what I charge to go over 4 hours, I'm okay with that. But it's gonna be real inconveniencing because I don't want to be here longer than 4 hours.
Yeah.
And the main reason is because honestly, after like the 3rd hour, most people are where they want to be anyway when it comes to alcoholic beverages at your event.
Right. And I went
Especially
to
if they got to drive home.
Exactly.
I went to an event.
So that's what I'm thinking about, them having to sober up before actually leaving.
Juneteenth. I went to an event for Juneteenth. It was supposed to be like an all-white party. So they had the DJ, and the DJ got up and left. So, because they started almost 2 hours late. When we got there, they hadn't even set up yet. I was like, what is happening right now? I was like, I'm already late, and y'all still haven't even set up. So the DJ was in there. He was playing music and everything. So, the DJ went to his time frame, and he left. And everybody was like, where the DJ going?
What? No.
Because other people don't understand. Like,
and that's fine, but that's up to you as the party person to explain to them what happened.
And he did. He was like, well, I only paid him for 3 hours, and his 3 hours is up. They was like, but y'all was 2 hours late. If y'all knew y'all only had this DJ for 3 hours, why would y'all be 2 hours late?
That ain't got nothing to do with the DJ.
No,
not unless you're coming out of pocket with some more change.
And that's what the people were complaining about.
See, my thing is, you never know what a person has to do after your event.
But that's why the people were complaining, because they was like, why would you be late 2 hours when you knew you had only paid this DJ 3 hours? So we only getting started an hour when the DJ is leaving, and now we ain't got no music.
Let me tell you something.
So they was complaining.
Loading them speakers, all that stuff in that car, the DJ booth, your amps and your mixers and all that stuff in that car, and taking it back out and all that, it's a hassle in itself.
Lot.
Yeah, so they weren't saying anything to the DJ. They were complaining to the person who was holding the event, because they was like, y'all 2 hours late, and y'all knew y'all had only paid this person this amount of time. Why would y'all?
I can't. I just honestly can't get with it.
And the chef was cooking there too.
I can't get with it. Look what I got, y'all.
What you got?
I don't know. Some from the Pretty Box. Look, I got.
Hello, gorgeous. I have arrived.
I know, right? Ain't that cute? Hello, gorgeous. I don't know what it is yet. Hold on.
I said, what's that? She said, I don't know. I said,
I don't know. They hit me up on Instagram and asked me, don't laugh. You know I'm special. And asked me, wait a minute, girl. Hey, wait a minute. Girl. Let's see what's out there. I don't know. We finna see though. Okay, so Pretty Box, your present. May happiness follow you wherever you go. Unlocking pretty one box at a time. That's cute. The packaging, what? Wait a minute. Thank you for supporting my small business, baby. We're speaking increase because this is not a small business.
Right.
At the Pretty Box. Oh, got to be some hair, girl. Got to be some hair, girl. Anybody who know me know. Baby, send me some hair. Okay.
Okay. And it's a blonde.
And it's blonde. Blonde bomb shawl. Okay. Wait a minute. Oh, and it's short. I'm gonna have to let y'all see me in this.
You gonna do an install video?
Half of it hers.
Who said that?
Split.
Say her hair is too big for weed.
Too long for that shit.
This is cute though. I gotta see how I look in short hair. I ain't want no short hair in a long time. But thank you, the pretty box. Unlocking pretty one box at a time,
That's
baby.
right, that's
of
right.
course, you know I'm going to do me a TikTok too. Thank you. But look though, they must have known. Then what I've been trying to do. I'm trying it waist. You hear me there?
Training it.
Okay.
Right.
Got me a waist trainer. Thank you, pretty box. Thank you, girl. I love it. So what I have realized is, so it's been almost close to a year since I stopped smoking, right? And Lord have mercy, I have gained.
You replaced it with snacks.
Man, what? Clearly, I have gained so much weight since I stopped smoking.
You replaced it with snacks.
And I got to figure this thing out. So thank you for my oh, that's so cute.
What is that?
The pretty box. Thank you.
You gotta
I got to show y'all how when I put it on and all that stuff, honey, because I'm
they
finna
say
try.
the hair is yours, the waist trainer is hers.
Oh hell. But she don't need to train her waist. I need to train my waist. Now her waist is just fine.
Right. Or somebody outside.
But baby, mine is
Right.
out of control.
Right.
But I sure do appreciate you, Pretty Box. The Pretty Box, y'all go check them out. They actually hit me up on, like I said, on IG. And didn't ask a whole lot of questions, but was just like, where can I send products to? And I wanted to do this unboxing on air, because there's something that we take a lot of pride in. We are always looking for sponsors. Now that the Pretty Box has sent us something, we're officially a sponsor of hers, and she's a sponsor of ours. So that means that we'll reach out to her to get her logo, so that we can actually add it to some of the things that we actually do.
Why we got them looking at
So,
the
yeah.
whole zip right here?
Is it? Oh wow, I have to do better. Sorry, you guys, but yeah, man. So Pretty Boss, thank you so much. And we're actually gonna get ready to get started with the second part of our show. I have been speaking on it all week, and I've been speaking on it all week, and we want to welcome them in. So if you guys give me a few minutes, I'm actually gonna go off live on my personal live. Not Misfits Radio Live, but my live. I'm gonna go off of it and I'm gonna come back. Hey, Fattest Man, how are you? Thank you. I'll see you guys in a few minutes. Thank you. So yeah, so I went off live on my page, but I know that we're still live here. So we actually have our the second part of our show is about to get started. So me personally, I'm going to get up and move around. So Lab, I don't know if you and Kay want to.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Or you want to play music?
I think I'm going to play music.
Play
You
music.
want to talk about something? You got something you want to talk about?
I'm gonna be good today.
Okay.
All
So what
right,
I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this disclaimer up about the show. Then I'm gonna let music play in the background, but I'm gonna turn y'all mics off. How about that?
Okay.
Sounds good.
How about how that works?
Yeah.
Give me 1 second to find the music. Because we want to play stuff we allowed to play.
Right. So what is that? Independent artist?
Yeah, stuff that's not gonna get us blocked.
But the only thing about that is, even they use some things from.
Yeah, we don't get blocked as quick. Well, maybe I should just go on out live then
We could
and come back.
and come back. Yep.
What you think?
Well, you know, no, just some independent artist music, so we ain't got to get all the people back in.
Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me find something.
So yeah, so the
Oh,
amount.
somebody at the front door. Go out the front door now.
The front door?
Yeah, somebody at the front door.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, give me a few minutes.
Yeah, I'm gonna play some music, y'all, on Instagram and Facebook. Then we'll come back and go from there. But stick around. Don't stick around. Whatever. All right. Last.
Pull up, yeah, pull up. Yeah, fuck it up. Do you wanna come to my beach party? Do you wanna come to my beach party? I know you wanna come to the party. I promise you have fun at my beach party. Do you wanna come to my beach party? Do you wanna come to my beach party? I know you wanna come to the party. I promise you have fun at my beach party. Do you wanna come to my beach party? We got liquor by the bottles, come and get it. We got a whole lot of models in bikinis. They wanna surfboard just like Beyonce on the Santa Monica and LA. I got your girl on the leash, she wanna party with me. We gon' laugh on the beach, yeah, just me and my team. Letting go, living free, to the sky when we reach. Going up like gas prices, but we ain't never on need. No, 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 I can't go back to being broke. Yeah, that's a fact, that's what I know. If you invited, be ready for a show. Cause you know how we do it, pull out your camera phone. I'm the director of this movie. So shorty, can you take it slow in a two-piece? I see the look up in her eyes, she wanna party. Come on. Do you wanna come to my beach party? Do you wanna come to my beach party? I know you wanna come to the party. I promise you have fun at my beach party. Do you wanna come to my beach party? Do you wanna come to my beach party? I know you wanna come to the party. I promise you have fun at my beach party.
I've been moving money, I've been flipping, prepping, I've been shipping out the sand. Young niggas stay prayed up. Mama told me I'm the man. Brother told me I'm the man. Hood told me I'm the man. 100,000 in my Robin jeans. Speak a language they don't understand. I've been moving lean and I've been cooking coke and I've been pressing all the gas. Young niggas stay prayed up. Trap told me I'm the man. OG told me I'm the man. Hoes told me I'm the man. 100 rounds on my chopper, nigga. Leave a fuck nigga where you stand. They get it in the city, nigga. Just a little bitty itty, nigga. Young and stacking 150s, nigga. Ain't scared no water whipping, nigga. Fuck a drought, I'ma go and get it. If it's gunplay, you know I'm with it. Keep a 40 press by my kitty. While I'm serving on the bobbing with it. Pouring cars, switching lane to lane. Gas and perk flowing through the vein. Dog food got me feeling things. Bust my rollies in the diamond ring. Made $1 million in my life change. Seen the world through Versace frames. Robin jeans and some pocket chain. Crack jumping like in propane. Walk a half by the whole thing. Take the plug, man, he know my name. Trade the bitch for a 7 train.
Pull up on the hill. Every day is lit. Pull up on the hill. You can get some gas or you can get some pills. Loso making moves, G making deals. Smojo got them bags for a good deal. Rich gon' work his wrist and come up with heels. Stogie rolling stogies while he popping seals. We pop a lot of shit, but not Benadryl. We don't fuck with stuck up bitches, that for real. We don't fuck with niggas who be jumping shit up. Still on set, little bitch, you know this shit for real. Just pull up on the hill, pull up on the hill. Niggas talk a lot of shit, but don't come by the hill. Don't come by the hill.
Yo, hey, yeah. I'll be here until the last call. Feeling like the hawk, that's why I smash y'all. She threw that pussy at me like a fastball.
Happy birthday, my name Show.
Ship and blast off, blast off, blast off, blast off, blast off. I hop right in my rocket ship and blast off. I'm feeling like the hawk, don't make me smash y'all. Then hop right in my rocket ship and blast off. My name showing in the paint, I do it shack like. I'm on go, so when I flow, you know it's crack like. I'm a monster, I was Jason in the past life. You ain't Super Mario, you playing with your last life. A different breed, shout out to you, A-Dub, my young niggas. And they been schooled on how to deal with all you dumb niggas. Far from stupid, but I'm crazy as they come, nigga. I'm with my trunk, niggas, never the bum, niggas. I rep the slums with them, gangsters I run with them. Haters, I'm done with them, bitches have fun with them. No retreat, no surrender. If I play it, I win it. If I want it, I get it. I'm the shit, I'm the shit.
Shake that ass, roll them hips, get a little low with it. The music jumping, speaker bumping, bend over low with it. It longer the party going, we gon' turn up, we gon' ride, ride, ride. We came to do some niggas, so you laying shit, step aside, side, side. Come over here, boy, let me break it off some proper like. Ain't talk about no church of chicken, no Zasper chicken, no straight pie pie. I got the bone cushion, make push main chick cook my
live. Happy birthday, my name Show.
Bring the check, boy, let's ride. I'm the number one freaking that hand down, but you gotta break my order, get my pant down. Ain't talk about no lunch date, no movie date, big fast now. You ain't about wanna say I need to bounce now. Gonna take more than that to hold my house down. Cause I got mouths to feed, goes to meet that's now. I got that sloppy, that gushy, that wet, that fire head, do a head check. Babe, Hoover wanna throw your girl a check. Suck you up like a vacuum cleaner. My head no misdemeanor. I be coming like a felon, step you thought ahead with fire, yo, the coochie me. Shake that ass, roll them hips, get a little low with it. The music jumping, speaker bumping, bend over low with it. It long the party going, we gon' turn up, we gon' ride, ride, ride. We came to do some niggas, so you laying shit with them.
Started with a box Chevy, made it to a Lambo. Had a little 380, now I got a Rambo. 100-round drum, never running out of ammo. Started with a chrome, now got more than I could ask for. Started with a box Chevy, made it to a Lambo. Had a little 380, now I got a Rambo. 100-round drum, never running out of ammo. Started with a crumb, now got more than I could ask for. Got money up my asshole, collect my 200, I am past go. Just might be in fast forward. Laughing niggas, talk shit, clapping niggas. Ain't shit funny, I ain't laughing with you.
Run it up.
I'ma take the bag and I'ma run it up. I'ma take the check and I'ma cash it out. I'ma take the bag and I'ma run it up. I'ma take the check and I'ma cash it out. Check up. Whip so sick, need a check up. Check up. If you get into the check, throw your hands up. Check. Keep these hoes in check. Running with the check. Keep these hoes in check. Running with the check. Duffel bag full of checks. Pocket through us from them checks. Black smoke blowing out my nose. I bought it from the check. Keep a check. Listen, I don't like to write no check. Just sign it in my name. Then I'm cashing out the check. Keep a big disrespect. I'ma put it in check. Better with your turn, cause you know that I'm next. I can get what I want. I ain't even gotta play. I'm with. And I ain't even gotta pay. Hold up, let me count up. No most of my cash up. Rubber band shakes.
You know we keep it on. Walk around with a big old sack for real. We having bands, bout to blow a bag in here. Shout it bad, I just want a smashing deal. Hundreds, so we got 'em mad in here. 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 Tell me what you know about a big face. Dead president with a green face. I'm being frank and I'm cashing out. Stay running up, don't green mouth. Talking bricks, getting rich. Only fuck with a bad bitch. I'm doing numbers so the money flip. I'm going in, that's all good.
Run into the money like a money man. When they hit the band, do the money dance. Curry in a 3 with the underhand. Mercy on the beat, but I understand. We doing numbers over here. Where your girl at? She right over here. Every day I hustle, cause I know it's in my blood. It's like a drug, I'm addicted, I just can't give it up. Big bank, take a little bank. What the hell was you thinking? From the bottom, can't stop, to the top I'm reaching. Got me a scissor on the weekend. Monday through Friday, she be fiending. Oh, I got the stress, Willie beaming. Right, but the city only when niggas feel me. When I step out fresh, I gotta be fresh every day. If I'm in your city, I get paid every day. Roll call on the play, I need every day. I need my cake in the way, I mean every day.
I
motherfucking tech. Geeked up off the Henny and the perkies. You a pussy boy, pull up your skirt. Spilt the lean all on my fucking shirt. Wet. Play with glizzy, ho, you will get murked, bitch. Before you taste, say your motherfucking grace.
Where they at, Lab?
I don't know. They're around.
Oh, okay.
They're around. Don't
Hey,
give me the line.
Hey, y'all, we back, y'all.
That's right. Don't give me the line. I don't know exactly where they're at, but hey.
Yeah, I always ask about the independent artists that we have been playing for a while, because sometimes they'll still show up on my social media, but I don't see them doing music anymore. So that's what we was talking about when we welcomed the show back in. I was asking Lev about an artist that that I just heard him play. But man, we greatly appreciate you guys for tapping in. Once again, this is the second half of Westside Misfits show.
That's right.
You can catch us here most Sundays at 3 o'clock p.m. And I want to take the time out to introduce you guys to somebody, because I'm pretty sure you all may have seen the ad that I put up earlier today. Hold on. Don't disturb my memory like that.
No, we live.
Exactly. She's only been on the show about 25 times.
I mean, like, real deal.
Okay. Hold on a second. But before we allow Kay to come in, I want our guests to actually introduce themselves, and we'll go into some of the reasons why they're here. Can we hear from you, Miss Hollman?
Hi, my name's Anitra Hollman.
And I'm Mauli Davis. I'm an attorney with the Davis Bozeman Johnson law firm.
Say that one more time. The
Davis Bozeman Johnson law firm. So we're the largest African American firm in the state that does plaintiffs and civil rights work.
I was actually just about to add that on. Right. That's why I wanted you to say the name again, man. We see you all out in the community doing a lot of great things. And before we get started, I just want to tell you guys, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Our community needs it.
Most definitely. I was like, come on now.
Exactly. No, seriously, because our community needs it, man. One of the things that I noticed, I'm born and raised in Atlanta, is that a lot of times we don't utilize our resources because we don't know about them.
That's right.
So when you get attorneys that's in our community that's actually showing face saying, hey, I can help you with that, it means a lot, because in all honesty, we're conditioned as black people not to need anybody.
Right.
True.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. And it's not the blame game or anything like that. That's how a lot of us were raised. Mm-hmm. What happens here stays here. You know, so we have to, at this point in the game, it's 2023, we have to dismiss some of the things and unlearn some of the things that we came up, you know, kind of knowing, and kind of, and because we at an age now where we realize that a lot of those things are unhealthy. Yeah. So we appreciate you so much for, for stepping in and helping the Hollman family, because I've been knowing Anitra well over 20 years now. Oh, wow. I'm 45. Like I met Anitra in the 8th grade. Yeah. Woo. Bring back good memories. And we've done a lot of things over the years together. We've fed the hungry and homeless. We've done just a lot of things in the community. And for what happened to your father, Deacon Johnny Hollman Sr.
That's right.
A few weeks ago, it's very disheartening. Someone that was actually born and raised here, someone that was actually have poured a lot into the community as well, and it's just really, really disheartening. I will allow you to elaborate on what actually happened a few weeks ago. But before we do that, I also want to give you my deepest condolences.
Thank you.
Our deepest condolences.
Thank you.
Most definitely.
Yeah, because as soon as I spoke with Anitra, the very first thing a lot of people know me from is from my father being killed in the line of duty as an APD officer. So I know from the aspect of where he did the policing, it has changed drastically.
Most definitely.
My daddy was killed in '87, and his belief was that honestly black people should police black people, because when a black police officer see you, he see you as a brother. Right. He don't see you as a threat.
Or his son
or his son, correct.
Right.
So what in the 80s, let me just say that in the 80s, that's what policing was about.
Right.
It was getting in the community and you wanted to police your people because you felt like, at least if I can't do nothing else, I can at least help him. If I can avoid arresting my brother and give him some sound advice and I see that it makes a difference, I'd rather do that versus using these tactics and the things that we've been taught to use on somebody that look like me.
Right.
Unfortunately, the idea of that policing is gone.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
The idea is gone, and I don't know where the idea of the being disrespectful comes into play, because I can be honest with you, under 25, we did some things that didn't make sense, but when we saw an older person, it was some things we wasn't gonna do in front of that older person.
Right.
We wasn't doing no cussing. We wasn't doing no disrespecting in front of somebody who we knew or felt like could be our grandparent. So that's why I say the idea of what's going on now and what we're accepting in our community is a little bit different. But I think some things never change, and that respect should never change.
That's the problem. People don't have respect.
It should never change. So, Miss Holland, tell me exactly. Well, not exactly, because you don't know exactly. Only thing you know is what you know. But tell me what transpired the night that Deacon Hollman was actually unalived.
So I get the phone call. Now this is August the 10th. So like the first, I see my dad August the 10th. So of course it's a Thursday. We have Bible study live on Facebook. Live the Stones of God. I get out there and talk about my church ministry. But dad was at the house. He got ready to leave. He was like, baby, blow his horn. Let the window down, baby, I'm finna go. I see you tomorrow. I was like, all right, Daddy, I'll see you tomorrow. I said, I love you. He said, I love you too. So he drove off. And then about 20 minutes later, he called me. He said, baby, somebody done hit my doggone truck. I said, they hit your truck, Daddy? Where you come? He said, I was just about to turn into the parking lot at the house. He said, they don't hit my doggone truck again. I said, what? I said, you all right? You need me to come? He said, no, I'm okay. You ain't got to come. I said, okay. I said, well, just call me back and let me know, what's going on. So he said, all right, I'll let you know. He said, I'm about to call the police. I said, okay. So I waited, and it got to be probably like an hour later. It's like, now it's like 10:23. He said, baby, he said, I'll call you back. He said, the police ain't showed up. Then he said, hold on, wait a minute. They just came. He said, but let me just get out and see what the police talking about. I said, okay, get out, see what the police talking about. And then the phone, he hung up the phone. So I waited for a while. I said, well, I guess everything worked all right. Because this is what I'm thinking in my mind. He ain't called like right back to say anything different. So I'm seeing him looking at the TV, And, you watching some. And I was a little tired, too. I kept dozing off, waking back up. Because I was like, I got to hear from my daddy before I completely go to sleep. So I'm laying across the bed. And then I get a phone call. So I look at the phone. I'm like, 11:57. I said, number this is. I said, look, I don't have time. Nobody calling me this time of night. Right. It's 11:57 because, see, mind you, it wasn't coming from the phone number that's programmed on my phone that say daddy. But some just said answer the phone. So I answer the phone. It's 11:57. When I answer the phone, I hear somebody saying, baby, baby. I'm like, huh? I said, daddy. But when I'm saying daddy, I didn't know that during this time he had done sat the phone down. Well, after he had called out, baby, but from looking at the video, I see where he had placed it on the truck. So I hear this officer, he just talking all outright. He aggressive to my daddy. I hear my daddy saying, I ain't do nothing wrong, you really gonna treat an old man like me like this? And, daddy was like, I asked for your sergeant. And he just going, wait, just like real unprofessional, using profanity. And, he yelling at him, he hollering. So, me, that's my daddy. I don't care who you is, because don't disrespect him. Right. So I'm hollering back through the phone as if he can hear me. I was like, what you talking to my daddy like that for? Don't be talking to him like that. I don't like daddy. So I'm hollering, but I ain't getting no response because he don't hear what I'm saying. The phone is down. So daddy, but he, he left it on speaker so that I could hear. So I don't think that the officer knew that the phone was on speaker. He knew he was calling somebody, but you don't know whether or not they picked up.
Right.
Because like right in it, it like went right into what was going on. So, of course, you know, like me, jump up, I'm running out the house. My brother and my niece was sitting on my porch, so I was like, Bo, that you know, because I call him Bo, but he a junior, his name Johnny Jr. So I was like, Bo, somebody doing something to Daddy. He was like, who, sir? I was like, I don't know, but I got to get over here to where. But just so happened, when he first called me, I asked him where he was, and he was like, I'm right here on Cunningham and Josie Lyra. So, mind you, if I had not asked him that, I wouldn't have known where he was.
Where to go.
So I would have known where he was, you know, where his location was. So, because mind you, his phone went dead. So now you own just a secondary minute phone that you was talking on.
Oh,
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It was never like his main primary phone.
Right.
So we do all that, and then I get in the car. So I literally had done left my brother. He running behind my car. I was like, you better catch up, because that's my daddy.
Right.
I got to go. So I finally let him in. I'm still on 2 wheels going on down. And I said, don't hang up that phone. Leave that phone on. So now my brother like, what going on with Pop? What you doing to my Pop? You know, so he hollering the phone. So I was like, nah, bro, let me just hear. Let me keep listening. So I hear my daddy, you know, telling him he can't breathe. I hear my daddy, you know, asking for help.
So you're actually listening?
I'm listening to all of it on the phone. For those 17 minutes and 46 seconds, I'm listening to the whole entire thing. I even heard when my daddy asked for the help for the very last time. And I didn't hear him anymore.
So when you arrived on the scene, was it chaotic then?
Very much so.
Okay.
It was like, you know, you see all these lights everywhere. I actually pull up behind the fire truck, you know, and then when I get out, my brother's like, so you need to record this? I was like, no, I can't hang up the phone, you record. I said, because I got to get up here. So my brother, he running in front of me, I'm coming up behind him. And as soon as we get there, it's like, I know it's at least 10, 12 officers. They just like around him. You see this one paramedic just beating him in his chest. He going up. You know, his body is lifeless. And so my first words were, y'all motherfuckers done killed my dad. I said it exactly like that.
Right.
And I'm like loud with it. So, and then I was like, y'all killed him. I heard it. I know you killed him. And so I went around because they would not let me physically get to him. Like I'm trying to get to where he had on the ground. My brother was like, y'all wrong. Y'all doing my pops like that. So he started recording. So I reached over and I grabbed the phone. So when I reached over and grabbed the phone, I came back around. I'm still trying to get to him. But because I'm so irate now, you know, finally they pick him up. You know, and then they put him on the stretcher and then they send him across the street to where the ambulance was. So at this point, I'm still like going in. I'm like, I know, I just don't know which one it was. I said, but it was one of y'all killed my dad. I felt it in my spirit. I never met, when I went to the hospital, I already knew he was gone, but I looked at him, and my dad has always been the type. If he has an asthma attack, he's been in a diabetic coma, close to it, whatever. If he hears my voice, and he's told me that many times, this is not his first time being down, and he was like, babe, something about your voice that always bring me back. When I kept yelling for him and he didn't come back, I knew it in my heart he was gone. And it was like, I was angry, but then I was numb, I was hurt, like I was feeling a whole lot of stuff.
Yeah, because to actually hear, you know, to actually hear all of this stuff going on, not being able to do anything about it, and you don't live far from the accident scene.
Yeah.
So it didn't. How long did it take you? Maybe about 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Even in 15, because you gotta imagine now I had to get up, you know, run out the house.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. The phone call lasted that long, so it could have took me anywhere from 12 to 10 to 12 minutes to get there. Like literally, I'm driving so fast to. It was an actual police behind me, so I thought when he had put his blue lights on, they were for me. But I was like, well, baby, you gonna have to follow me all the way to the scene.
Right.
Because I'm going to see about my daddy, and I'm not stopping for nobody. And I didn't. And I kept going. I pushed the gas all the way down. My brother was like, so, because we gonna get here.
Right.
So it's like, when I get here and I seen it, but it, like I said, I was just all over the place. So I stayed. Even when they was like, you could go, I was like, no, I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna be right here.
So you heard your daddy ask for, well, not necessarily. You didn't hear him the first time ask for a sergeant, but you heard him mention that he'd asked for a sergeant. So
no. I could hear him ask for the sergeant.
So you actually
yeah.
So for him to deny, for this police officer to deny him receiving a sergeant, and you get there and all these police on the scene,
and not one of them was still a sergeant.
I mean, nobody would talk to me. Cause like once I said that they killed him, it's like at that point everybody started either going to their cars or they start moving daddy out. And then you had this one officer, she came up, she said, listen, she said, I know you upset. She said, I just got on the scene. She said, I'll help you. She said, let me go find out what I can find out. She went to talk to somebody, and when she came back, she was like, hold on. Next thing I know, y'all bringing the yellow tape, taping around. It wasn't even 5 to 10 minutes after y'all pull out with my daddy, I get a call from Grady, the nurse. And then they said, oh, well, when you get here, ask for the social worker. Of course, I already know what that was about.
Right.
So then I hung up. So then she came to talk to me. She was like, well, somebody from GBI, they gonna come and speak to you. She was like, you know, I don't really have no information. I just got here. She was like, I'm just roping it off to make sure it's secure. She said, but if you want to, you can go on and go to the hospital. She said, and your brother could stay here, or your brother could go and you can stay. I said, nah, I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna stay right here to see what's going on. Cause see, well, my daddy, you know, and in my mind, you know, cause we growed up in the church, so we spiritual. So I'm saying in my mind, he good where he at. Right. I'm staying here because I need to see what y'all doing.
Exactly.
Because I need to know what y'all doing.
Because do you know how disheartening that is? Because this is my thing. If I arrive and it's 10 to 12 officers there, why couldn't that have been granted when he asked for it? Mm-hmm. Why couldn't, and he only asked for one. Mm-hmm. Let me have your sergeant. You're not treating me fair. Mm-hmm. Let me have somebody above you that would know how to talk to a man like me, because I'm not disrespecting you.
Mm-hmm. So, and this is gonna circle back around to what you said. How many of them were of color? The officers were on color on the scene.
So the officer who killed him was a young black 23-year-old officer.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the point, is the very thing that you raised around what community policing used to be.
Right.
When black people just got on the Atlanta police force and could only police the black community, that was different from what we have now. Yeah. Now we have this militarized soldier mindset. They coming and moving in and occupying space, right? They're moving like the occupiers of our communities, not like they're a part of the community. And so the way so we watched the video, and when we watched the video, I was just stunned that a 23-year-old African American could talk to a 62-year-old deacon that way.
Right, just disrespectful.
It didn't make any, but it.
No, but you gotta let him finish. Let him, because I didn't get through the whole 5 minutes. He'll tell you. I just nutted
from the beginning to the end. At the beginning, he's telling him, lower your voice. He's telling Deacon Hollman, lower your voice.
What?
Don't, why you yelling at me? Like he was talking to him like a child. And so what we have to realize is that there's no other place as a community where a 23-year-old African American would talk to a 62-year-old except in police. He had just pulled completely away from our culture, right? Our culture says you're responsible and you connect with our people. That culture says I'm the boss, and I don't care how old you are, how young you are, how fragile, elderly you are. I don't have to respect you. And the whole video just showed disrespect. He was so out of control when Mr. Hollman says, I'll sign a ticket, because all of this was about him signing a ticket, right? So when he says, I'll sign a ticket, he grabs his arm. He doesn't even let him sign a ticket. He's reaching to try to sign a ticket. Yes. He won't even let him sign a ticket. He grabs his arm, twists behind his back, and then does a leg sweep to take him to the ground. Yeah. And he goes face down on the ground, then he's forcing his face into the asphalt, and then he's yelling, you're going to sign a ticket, you're going to sign a ticket. He's just totally out of his mind.
So how long was the video?
They only showed us 5 minutes of it. They showed us from the time he started to the time to the time that, to just be honest with you, his Deacon Hollman's hands kind of went limp. And then they stopped it. So they didn't show anything after that. But
really,
we want to see everything. We think the community should see everything.
Absolutely.
We think that there should be a level of transparency like there is and like there was in Tyre Nichols.
Absolutely.
Like there was in George Floyd.
Absolutely.
This is a significant, because it makes no sense.
Right.
Deacon Hollman didn't have He didn't do anything to try to fight this officer. He didn't do anything. He didn't have a weapon. So they can't use the normal excuses.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he had a gun or something. No. And then he was tasing him.
Exactly.
So he has him on the ground and he's tasing him.
While he's doing all of this.
He's tasing him, right? And he's stunning him. And he's, putting it in his side and he's yelling. And then he punches him. I mean, it's just an outright assault on him.
That's an assault. And it's like you're going to bully him.
You're 23 and you have pulled up on a minor accident.
Yes.
That went
and a 62-year-old gets out and starts talking to you.
Was he
Sir,
the,
you
was he
know
the
that you could have overpowered
He was the
him.
only officer initially.
Initially.
And there's just no reason.
So why is this? I guess the city of Atlanta. Why are they not releasing the entire?
Their position and the city's position is that because it's an open investigation, they're hiding behind that. But there have been organizers for years that have been trying to get the city to adopt a policy that you, within 72 hours, you show it to the family. Within 2 weeks, you release it to the community. Right. That's very reasonable. By then, all the witnesses have been interviewed, so it can't impact them. Just do it. It's the right thing.
That's more than reasonable. With the city, with the city of Atlanta growing the way that they've allowed it to grow.
Yes.
Because they're definitely allowing you all to welcoming in all of these people
from all over,
from everywhere, and not even thinking about the ones that's been here.
That's right.
See, and that's where the it comes into play with me. When you've been born and raised somewhere like Atlanta, you have an advantage over a lot of other people that have come here because you know about a lot of the things that we come from.
Yes.
You respect the culture. There are a lot of things that you just move different.
That's right.
So for the city of Atlanta to be welcoming in all of these people, you hired this 23-year-old.
That's right.
And
you hired him,
training,
but
apparently.
what happened to the training?
He had to train him.
That's the thing. That's the misnomer. They got.
Yeah.
It's not the training, y'all.
So it's him.
That's what they
It's
run.
him.
No, it's not him. It's the culture of policing, right? Like the culture. So they say, here's how you de-escalate. But the culture says you don't have to respect them.
That's right.
And in fact, you don't have to respect them. And I'll show you that you don't have to respect them because every time there's an investigation into any abuse, they never do a real thorough investigation. It doesn't result in termination, and it doesn't result in arrest. And so if, just like in any situation, if you see you can get away with something, and this is the way you're supposed to behave, then you're gonna continue to do it. And that's why the whole department is responsible for Deacon Hollman's death. Not just that one officer.
All of them.
He only been on the force for about 2 years. 2 years.
So he was 21 when he started.
2 years. And look, during this time this is his 6th complaint.
I remember we talked about it, yes.
He had 5 previous complaints. And the problem is that
and
they didn't act on it.
They didn't act on the previous ones. They just let us slip
They
under
just
the
let
rug.
it keep going. And this is what all of that leads to. When you allow behavior to continue, it ends up manifesting as something that's even more detrimental.
Right.
And that's what we're dealing with.
What happened to the person that hit your father? Where was he at or she at during this whole time frame?
He was standing off, and he recorded some of it, but he was not in a position to capture. He didn't where he was positioned. He could just see like underneath Deacon Hollman's truck.
Okay.
And so he was recording it. And he was deeply disturbed.
Yes.
We had a chance to meet with him, and he was like, I just couldn't believe that somebody lost their life. That somebody lost their life in an accident. He said he didn't think he caused the accident. Deacon Hollman didn't think he caused the accident, but he definitely didn't think it was going to lead to nobody getting killed.
Because it shouldn't have.
Yeah, because I think even, in that moment, and I thought about that too. I don't know, the Holy Spirit just brought that back to me. I was thinking of this guy because I was like, now he having to live with that
for the rest
of his life.
That's
so
what I was
on
asking
some
about
point,
him.
he feel guilty as well. Because you mind you, my dad, he called up the police, and this guy, he called the police as well. But then this guy, you turn around and you call again. see, sometimes you just don't know what's gonna happen when you encounter with these polices and the way, like they said, they police. You know, and I know, Donna, we had the conversation, you know, and we just talking about it. You know, it ain't even about a racism thing anymore. It's just the culture. And, you know, and then the way that they're raised. But then we can't even look at the way they raised anymore, because you go through this academy and this training, like, you know, we talked about it. All of that stuff is out the door. Now, you dealing with what they telling you to do. You forget how you was raised. That's over.
Calling the police should just to me should not be a death sentence.
I pray every time a police roll on the scene, and when my son leaves the house, that everybody come back home safely. Because believe it or not, my son gets pulled over all the time.
Oh yeah.
And the worst part about it is he has more problems with the police of color than he does with the opposite color, and it shouldn't be that way. And he's a firefighter, and a lot of times they give him more grief when he's in uniform than when he's not.
I can definitely I can see that. You know, I don't know what we'll have to do in order to change the culture and to change the way policing is.
Get rid of the union.
Yeah, well, and that part too.
Yes.
And look,
Speak on that, bro.
let me tell you something.
Union is
Not only that. So we actually have a DA in office now that ran a campaign on not prosecuting officers.
That's right.
If you wrong, you're wrong. Yeah. And the thing about it is, regardless of who you are, what you are, if you do something wrong, you should have to pay for it.
True. But then we also gotta be mindful when we get out and vote. You know, we gotta research these people that we're putting in office.
You are correct.
You know, and we gotta make them stand on what they saying. So that's why, you know, even when they ask me the question, like, what you expecting the mayor to do? I'm expecting him to stand on his word. He said that he was for the people.
That's right.
So if you for the people, then release that video. Have them to release that video so that the people can see it and that we can move forward and get justice for my dad. Remember, you said you for the people. We voted for you based off you being for the people. Now let's be for the people.
That's right.
Release the video. That's what we want. We want the release of that video so that we can move forward and get justice.
That's right, because when I first heard about this entire incident, I told Anitra, I heard about it. My brother sent it to me and was like, man, this don't sound right. This is this is before I even knew a name, could put a face. My brother was just like, man, this don't sound right. He was like, did you see this? And I told him, I said, no, I hadn't seen it, but I read it. And I was like, because he sent it to me on Instagram.
Okay.
And I was like, nah, that don't. He was like, yeah. He said, man. So the very first thing that came to my mind is I just don't like the way they try to portray a person.
Right. Yeah, the narrative.
He's irate. He's this.
Combative.
Right.
And then when the video is released, everybody like, oh.
He told him. He said, my voice is heavy. That's what Deacon Hollman told him.
Yeah.
He said, I mean, like, he was like, my voice just heavy.
And it is. And it's been like that our whole life.
And you know, so he's trying to tell, he's
like
the one trying to de-escalate, right? He's like, my voice just heavy.
Especially Southern men back, you know, Southern old men usually voice are heavy.
Yeah, but that didn't stop this officer. He just kept at it and kept escalating to the point that while you yelling, you gonna sign this while you're trying to handcuff him and tase him.
And then Daddy had to move back. He even held his hand up. He was stepping back from him like, I ain't even trying to get up on you, you know, because I see. And then he was like, oh, Lord Jesus. Then you made a mockery of that, you know, telling him, I don't care if you call your priest or your wife, like, even in that moment. Like, you know, you make like you making a mockery of his spirituality.
You don't have to sign a ticket. You don't have to sign a ticket. Do you?
What the law says, and so what they've done as a result of this, and this was a sneak move.
Yes.
While we were watching the video, they released this change in the policy. So under Georgia law, you have to sign the ticket or you go to jail, right? But there's a process that the officer has to take you through. It's 2 steps. He never did the second step with Deacon Hollman, so he had no basis to even arrest him. There was no basis. Plus, he never said I wasn't gonna sign a ticket. He just asked for a supervisor. He said, can you have your sergeant come out? And then that just had the officer just go, nah, you're gonna sign basically you're gonna sign the ticket first. And so then when he says 3 times, Deacon Hollman says, I'll sign the ticket, I'll sign the ticket, I'll sign the ticket. He won't stop then. that's when he leg sweeps him and takes him to the ground. So it's just, none of it
saying
makes
start
sense.
resisting. Start resisting.
Stop resisting.
Yeah.
But he wasn't
like
resisting.
what? He not
like
even
you saying
resisting.
it so it can pick up that.
Right.
But he never was resisting. Once you took him down, it was no way for him to
And
resist.
I never saw this video. I'm just telling you how it goes.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
but
yeah,
that's
no,
what he
you
said.
know the game,
Right.
right? This is
where-
what they're trained to do.
Right.
That's right.
When I saw my daddy, like I saw him before he left me, so I knew what he looked like.
Right.
And then I saw him after this happened to him. He looked nothing like what I saw when he left me. And I could even tell, like, y'all, the handcuffs or wherever you was with his wrist, it discolored his hand. Even before y'all embalmed him or did any of that, his hands were still not even right when he was laying in the casket. And it bothered me, and it bothered my spirit so bad. So when I did see the video, I was already feeling some type of way.
Absolutely. If you just think about, I know, I'm thinking about it. You see, you don't expect for none of this to go on. First of all, you don't expect this because y'all leaving Bible study.
Yeah.
We're feeling good.
Yes.
We done called on the Lord. We all right.
Yeah.
And so, even with getting the call saying, you know, somebody, I don't been in a little fender bender, you still okay with that? You like, okay, man, that's material. We can get that fixed, whatever.
Yeah.
You still okay with that? But to come back around to an officer, hearing the officer be that disrespectful, and of course at that time you don't know how old this person is.
No.
But to learn that this person is 23,
That's
Man.
even worse.
like honestly,
23
that
and
pours
African-American.
salt into an open wound.
Very much so.
Because not only are you a young, and what we have to understand is, even though you have this level of whatever you feel like it is in the city of Atlanta, young officer, you have it here, but if you go anywhere else, you still nigga.
Because you
So you gotta think about, yes, you can be anywhere else and you're still gonna be this young black boy that you know what I'm saying, in or out of uniform.
Yeah.
That somebody could, like, why are you not thinking about yourself? Why are you not thinking about your grandfather?
That's right.
Why are you not thinking about your uncles? You know, and then when I think about him saying he's talking loud, my uncles talk loud. They from the South.
You know, for some reason they think it doesn't exist until it happens to them. They are the ones in charge out there when they put this uniform on, and then they don't think it's going to happen to them until it happens to them, until they go somewhere
and mistreated and disrespected.
We get those calls too.
Yeah.
You know, we get calls our office, and I'll tell you, it's so pervasive in terms of how policing goes right now. We get calls every day. We can't even take the calls where they may have broken somebody's arm because there are so many people that they are killing.
Yes.
Right? And what's happening in the jail, all of these things, the whole system.
Going on in these jails.
The whole system just doesn't humanize us.
No.
Right? It doesn't allow us to be human beings, and we have to stand up against it. That's why it's so important that I've been here 25 years. I'm originally from the south side of Chicago, but my people from Villa Rica, Georgia, and Alabama, Mississippi. So, you know, to come to what has been described as the Black Mecca,
right?
And to see how over these years it has just become more and more
has declined.
Just disregard for the people.
Thank
we
you.
the people.
We're the people.
And we used to be this way.
This
right.
is the thing.
When I first got here, wasn't that vibe.
That's my whole point in saying, when I say that we are welcoming, we have no problem with welcoming people who come here and they see where they can fit in.
Respect
25 years ago, respected the culture.
Yes.
25 years ago, that's what it was. We was welcoming men that were people, period, that was coming here and wanted to better themselves, wanted to better their lives. It has been a decline, though. It's been a decline in that respect, in the idea of Atlanta being the civil rights movement type situation. It has been a decline in the love. Like, a lot of this stuff is missing. I don't know what we need to do. I don't have all of the answers. But I know with raising young adults, within the city and still within the city limits, it's disheartening to say the least. When you see them out here acting like that, feeling a certain way, feeling like they're on top of the world because they do have a badge, it's okay. I love and respect the idea of you wanting to even get into that line of work. But you have a different type of responsibility when you get there. If you go in it for anything other than the love of your community and your people,
serve.
Yes.
If you're not coming to serve.
If you're not coming to serve, I can tell you now, it's gonna be a whole different ride for you. It's gonna be a different ride for you. And I think what has happened to a lot of the policing culture is them not understanding the serving part. Get out here in your community and see what your community needs. Just because you no longer reside in that community, this is no longer what you can, I guess, relate to.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. Still get out there, because guess what? It can easily be reversed.
Oh yeah.
I think police needs to go back and live in the communities they're serving in.
Man, my daddy wouldn't even. This is what's crazy. My daddy wouldn't even leave the west side of Atlanta. They begged him, tried to get him to move to South Fulton County, all these other different places. He said, I can't reach my people there. And ultimately got killed by somebody in the community that he felt like he couldn't leave. But when you have an officer that have pretty much laid their life down, now we got other officers coming in. To me, it's situations like that should make the officers coming in better.
That's right.
It should make them better. It shouldn't make them sit on a high horse or make them feel like they're better than the citizens that they supposed to be protecting.
But then they had that blue code where they they got that blue code where they know it's a problem. So I can't go against you, because if I go against you and if I'm in trouble, y'all ain't gonna show up to help me.
That's true.
That's the culture, right?
Exactly.
So they've taken police culture and they've replaced it with our culture, right? So when they put it on, they now have removed themselves from our culture, from the Atlanta black, thinking about each other, loving each other. They removed themselves from that. They said, now I'm immersed in this culture.
That's right.
And this culture is alien to us. It's anti-us, right? Because the roots of it come out of the whole idea of policing black bodies and trying to track us down during our enslavement. That's how policing emerges in the South. It doesn't come out of, hey, let's just, this is a protect and serve. It comes out of the idea of running us down, us as the property. And so that same mentality is what we are now seeing happen in Atlanta, all over the country. And when you say the civil rights,
we the
capital.
How
can you? Why wouldn't we be the ones to release videos?
That goes back to the problem. People don't know their history.
Indeed.
Because when I be talking to people and people have moved here, I be like, they was like, did you know? Yeah, I know. I was born and raised here. How you don't know? I be floored. I'm like, you a person of color. How you don't know your history?
That's what we tell our sons. When you look, they were born and raised here. They went played at Welcome All Park. Went to school. And so our whole thing is, you got to come and respect the space. The folk who were here, who built this.
That's right.
It wouldn't even be attractive if it wasn't for the folks who were already here who built it.
What if and then too, a lot of times, man, like I tell people, and I will continue to push the love within the community.
Yes.
So when you love where you work,
that's right.
When you love what you're doing, it shows in how you deal with the people that you're working with. So I don't know, honestly, I don't know, and it's probably something I should look into. I don't know because I know that they're under an immense amount of pressure, as law enforcement, and that's to be expected. But when it comes down to what happens at the precinct when you arrive to work, the setting of when you get there, what's going on, when they send y'all out here and tell you, this is your beat, whatever, what's happening with the management, the supervisors, the ones that are actually giving out these orders, are they making it an environment, a loving environment there? So when you send your people out, you know, they still are, have they set that, or are they, y'all need to do this, y'all need, you know what I'm saying? Like, is it intense in a way of, ain't no love there? So when they go out to serve the people,
I think it just
ain't no love there.
Because I know a lot of officers who are, they walk that thin line.
Yeah, it's definitely a balance
in the blue culture or blue code. But then they're the ones that I know that were born and raised here in Atlanta, they're still trying to make sure they remember where they came from and try to do what they can. But they be telling me it's very hard for them to try to look out for us, especially when they have somebody else riding with them. Now, if they riding by themselves,
then it may be a little different.
It's a little different. But when they got somebody riding with them, or, you know, sometimes you can pull up to a scene, they be by themselves, but then the next thing you know, it's 3 other cars. Like, how many people it take? So usually what happens is they was like, I had it under control, and then they was like, then this officer showed up, and they be like, and then it just went left, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for y'all to show up. I had it under control. I was working the situation.
Is that for the city though? Because from what I've learned or from what I've heard, it's not like that no more. Not for the city of Atlanta because of the need of officers. Because we have a great need.
It's the ones that I know work for the city and for Fulton County.
Oh, okay, because what I've been because I thought about that too. I'm like, are they sleep deprived? You know what I'm saying? Even that, because it's like
they get points.
Yeah.
So they have a point system, right? For their interactions. They don't get any points if they come to a scene and just de-escalate it. They get points for arrests. They get points for issuing tickets. They have a point system, and so that creates a culture.
That creates a whole.
And so that becomes the driving. That becomes a driving force in how they are interacting, because they're not coming with the mindset. And when you think about it, isn't this the time for them to arrest fewer people? Isn't this the time? Like, he's getting ready to take Deacon Hollman to jail.
It's already
around a ticket.
That's already
overcrowded, and people are dying.
Right.
It don't even make any sense.
Right.
That's how illogical the system is. And so you understand it as a system where that thrives off of our black bodies. You know, it thrives it eats off of us.
Right, so it's really a full circle of how things operate. Because I'm just thinking, I'm like you're gonna arrest somebody for something this minute, for something, a traffic ticket, because they don't want to sign a traffic ticket. My thing is, after he said, I'll sign it, you still didn't want that.
No, you still
wasn't enough.
So that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to agree with what she was saying. Go back to what Kay said. See, they bleed blue, but we bleeding red.
Right.
They don't care about us.
So
you see what I'm saying? So it's like, because you bleed blue, I done buried my daddy.
Right.
And just so happened it was crazy because that's one of daddy's favorite colors was blue. So you know everything I did was in blue.
Right.
But this is my daddy. And I'm like, a traffic ticket, like, you know, I thinking maybe daddy gonna get a little old. I knew he gonna be in the hospital or something else, you know, a little minor something. I, you know, take care of him, you know, because it's my daddy. It's the end. But 2 hours later,
from a
to know that my daddy died from a traffic ticket that he wanted to sign.
Yeah, that he was okay with signing.
Did not refuse to sign. Then y'all put this narrative out here, try to scandalize his name after you have killed him.
Right. Well, that's usually how it happened. But I promise you, when my brother sent me that situation, he was just like, yeah, this don't sound right.
He wasn't going for it.
Now, keep in mind,
your brother ain't no lawyer. But the lawyer that called our lawyer to get him here, it was a lawyer in their law firm that called Tom and said, this don't sound right.
Right.
He said, reading it don't sound right. He said, this don't make no sense at all. He said, we know Mr. Hollman. He worked for us. He's been around us. We know his character. This ain't right. He said, Tom, you need to find him a good lawyer, because this ain't right. He said, I'm reading the report. He said, I know you ain't seen it. This ain't right. They wind up calling me over the phone asking me about it, because mind you, when I first got to the scene, I called another lawyer that he worked for, but he don't do this type of law. But I thought they was here in the city, because my dad was like, well, if anything ever happened, call him, Matt, and know what to do. So when I called him, they was in Colorado. But he heard it. He was like, I can't hardly hear you, Anitra. You saw right. So they wound up calling me back. And they've been calling me every day since. Like, they're really disturbed. Even then, she sent this whole letter explaining to, talk about my dad's character, who he was, the man he was. She said they couldn't even live in their house had it not been for my daddy. This is just the type of man he was. He made sure everything in their house was fixed. The outside, the garden, anything they needed. And now Matt just had a birthday yesterday. He turned 80 years old. My dad was getting to the point where he couldn't hardly do the work no more, but he still was going because he didn't feel like other people would be as trustworthy as him to take care of them. That's the type of man he was.
And the craziest thing is, when I thought about it, I'm like, I've only known your daddy. Like I've only known. You know how sometimes, like when you're younger, you'll be like, oh yeah, I remember our mama. I only know, like, your daddy was active. Very much always so. In the build, like, you know what I'm saying? Just being very supportive. And to just know that somebody, I don't know, it didn't sit well with me. Like I said, when my brother first brought it to me, and then when I found out that who it was, I'm like, oh no. Like, they really tripping. But I know next weekend, we're doing a march. So the march is going to be from what?
So we're marching right down the street where my dad got killed at, which is Dean Rest Park. And it's on People's Street. The old Harris home, most people know it. If you say the old Harris home, they know where that park at. They sit at the bottom. That's Dean Rest Park, and we're gonna march from there to City Hall on Saturday the 23rd, because we're asking and we're requesting that video, the body cam video, be released. Just make it transparent. If you say that this is what happened and this is what the officer said happened, let the world see it. Right. Put it out there. That means we not hiding behind nothing. Y'all not hiding behind nothing. We as the family and our Lord, we not hiding behind nothing. Put it out there. Let the world see so they can see what happened.
Right. So we'll be able to because the thing about it is, when you lose a loved one, it's already bad enough to lose. Right. To lose a loved one, but to lose them at the hands of somebody else, it makes it a different situation for one. And to lose them to somebody that we're supposed to trust and honor in our neighborhood, because they're there to serve and protect, that makes it a whole different situation.
It does. And I forgot to add this. I know I don't want to cut you off.
No, you're fine.
Saturday is 12 o'clock. Okay. We need to be there at 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock.
At Dean Rose Park. Y'all hear that now?
Yeah, so we can be ready. I mean, I need everybody. Bring your little babies, bring your big children, your little children, your mamas, your daddies, your uncles, your sisters.
That's right.
We need everybody out. We need everybody out. Like, it need to be mass numbers, because this is the only way we're going to change the narrative for us and our people. That's we got to stick together. We got to show love to one another. And, because like I said, I've done a lot of marches, we've done a lot of food drives, we've done clothes drives. I've literally taken off my shoes to give to people and went home with no shoes on, driving back home. But that's what we do in our community, because we love on our people. And so this is the time I need everybody out. I need them to come out in mass numbers so that we can do this march. Let them know that we're not playing. We're tired of this. We're tired of our people laying on the streets of Atlanta, the streets that we built. My daddy used to build nightclubs. My daddy done built shops. My daddy done worked in many gardens and many trees and cut down a whole bunch of stuff. But he died on the streets like that.
Right.
So I need the people out. I need them to be there. Meet me there at 12 o'clock so that we can march and we can march for justice and get this video released. We need that. You want to say something?
I absolutely agree.
Look, I mean, we've been doing this. Our law firm has been doing civil rights law. We do accidents and tractor trailers and all of that. But this civil rights law is different, because we pay for the bullets, for the tasers, for the uniforms, for the badges and the cruisers, and the salaries of people who then turn around and would take this elder's life. I mean, at some point it has to resonate with us as a people. And it's always been interesting. And over the years, when there are marches, our folk turn out when there's somebody that's been killed in Minnesota, right? Or in Louisiana. We'll have a big mass march. but it happened here.
That's right.
In Atlanta.
And we need that same energy.
We need that same energy. And I'm not, and there's no shade on showing up for all of the others outside of Atlanta. But what it does is this. When we march about something that happens in Atlanta, it forces us to have to reckon with what's next.
That's right.
You can come out and march for George Floyd, and then you can go back home because that happened in Minnesota. What more can you do? But on this one, after you march, your next question is, what's next?
That's right.
How can I continue to live in Atlanta and allow this to happen and not respond? I gotta do something.
My question is, like, who do the people need to send emails to regarding releasing this video? Because do we need to go to the mayor? Do we need to send videos to the chief of police?
We believe the mayor, the chief of police, they all have authority to release the video.
They do.
Okay, so that's something else that needs to be pushed too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And this is something that can be done on your phone.
At home.
At home,
Yeah.
in your bed, under your bed. You could be anywhere you want to be and contribute to what we're needing at this moment. You know, for justice, because the main goal is to get the video released. Because one thing I honestly feel like we know that if the video is released, it'll give a different idea of what actually happened and what needs to happen to the officer that actually, that did this thing. And 23 years old, I'm sure he's probably afraid.
No, he's not afraid.
I'm pretty sure that he's probably worried.
He's not afraid because
he's not afraid because, one, he has protection of the police union as one.
Right.
That's one thing that needs to go away in the whole police system is the police union, and police investigating themselves need to go away as well. GBI is still police. They still know each other. They still do what they can for each other. So them investigating themselves need to go away as well, because when you're trying to have a transparent investigation, as you try to say, who's going to trust the police investigating themselves? Who's going to trust that they're going to give us the truth and let us know exactly what happened, when it happened, and how it happened? That's not necessarily the case, and most times it's not the case. That narrative of the GBI coming in and investigate, great. They probably all are aspiring to go to the GBI, so they probably all know people that work with the GBI. So there's that in itself shouldn't give us a calm to know that it's going to be done fairly. The police, a lot of times the attitude is that they are the authority of over all other. When they're on the street, their mindset is that I'm the authority of all other. I don't care if I tell you to kneel down in mud. That's what you need to do, because I'm the police. For one, I have this gun. I can shoot you at any time. See, that mentality that they have when they're policing, especially black folks, but when they're policing in general, is the mentality that I'm super and you're not. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they teach them that mentality because they want them to be aggressive. They want them not to be. They don't want to see that they're not policing.
I can assure you, if Deacon Hollman was not African American, this situation wouldn't be what it is.
I'm pretty sure it wouldn't. But it's still, the mentality is still. I said, it's more when it's us.
Yes.
But the mentality is there, period.
Yeah, it is. But
the 23-year-old still would have probably had the mentality. It probably wouldn't have went as far.
But to know when to turn it on and off, to me, lets me know that it's possible.
And
so if you can treat somebody that does not look like you with less aggression, you can do that to your people as well.
But
so that's the issue for me.
But you got to remember, we are not looked at, like he said, as people. They are looked at as people, so they get the respect.
Because they go back from beginning of time. They were already there to serve them. It was never really to serve and protect us.
Yeah, we don't get the respect.
And that whole idea that white folk lives are just treated as more valuable and sacred than ours, right? And so that has been the programming
for years, for over 100 years.
That's the programming is that You can be as crazy as you want to be, but you bet not take one of their lives.
Right.
You can take one of ours, but don't take one of theirs.
Right.
Because the consequences will be dire. Right?
right.
And so that's part of, we got to understand when y'all, what y'all raised about the history, all of that is the history that we got to, you said, unlearn.
Yes, we got to unlearn it.
We got to get it out of our spirit.
Is no way that we can continue living like that, and the main reason is because it's detrimental to us.
Yes,
it is.
And they talk about, I hear people all the time saying, the black on black crime and this, that, and the other, but any community that you go in is going to be that, what the base majority crime on each ottle. Like, of course, ours put a name to it, but if you, that's just like,
just crime.
Yeah, in the situation in Gwinnett County, not even long the other day, where
the Asian on
nobody
Asian.
said nothing about Asian on Asian crime.
No.
And I'm like, am I missing something here?
Yeah,
because
all the racial
I'm paying attention.
If they have their own neighborhoods,
that's right.
They have crime.
They do.
Yeah, and that's the part.
Televised
but
like
that's
ours.
the part. It gets televised. It gets pushed out there. I hear a lot about it, but it's disheartening for me. For black people to constantly talk, so that we don't value our lives, so nobody else should. And it's like, you sound crazy.
Right.
Yes, very much so.
No, just because like that's
Until
wrong.
it happens to them,
Then they wouldn't be able to recognize it. But no, just because somebody else don't recognize your value doesn't mean it doesn't change the value.
That's right.
But it goes back
that's
to
crazy.
what Anitra was saying. People need to, first of all, go out and vote. And when you do vote, know who you're voting for. A lot of times, like some people they say, "Oh, I voted." Well, who did you vote for? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know who you voted for?
Well,
it's very important to be an informed voter. But the only problem with being an informed voter in Atlanta is a tale of two cities. I come from both of them. And I'm just going to say that. It's a tale of two cities. It's kind of like you're voting for the lesser of the two
evils.
And the reason why I say that, but the reason why I say that is because, for one, just to me, it should be a limit on all of the seats.
Yes.
In the city. Like, nobody should be able to die out of a seat and they've been there 25, 30 years.
Especially if it's nothing changing.
Especially.
Ain't nothing changing.
But this is the thing. You also have to be amongst the who's who in order to even get a seat there. That has to change too. That has to change.
That's a lot. But that's happening everywhere. Because I know in our sheriff in Douglas County, he was just a police officer for years, and that's how he got voted in, because he was the who's who when the sheriff finally decided he didn't want to be the sheriff no more. So everybody voted for him because of who he was, but he ain't no better than the next person.
But
the system.
The
system says here's what the priorities are, and this system, so it doesn't matter. They can replace a black person with a white person as long as they keep the system going.
Exactly.
And so that's why it's so important not just to vote, but for us to be in organizations that hold the system, that challenge the system, that hold it accountable, and when necessary, disrupt it.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
We gotta. That's why when the family said this gonna be their third march.
Yes.
Right? This they third march. So they marched.
Disrupt the system.
They marched from APD to City Hall, and the police were on bicycles. Y'all got to hear this now. The police rolled out on bicycles to try to block us.
Yes.
We marching with the family. Now they had just gone through the traumatizing effect of having a police officer take their father, and then the police roll up and with their bikes and try to block us. And so a couple of the family members are visibly shaken because she was shook, right? Because they like, why are they treating us like this? Don't we have a right to march to City Hall?
Right.
And so that was the first march. The second march, the students at the Atlanta University Center So some of these kids, they ain't even from Atlanta, but they here now, and they said we gonna lock arms with this family. So they marched from the Atlanta University Center to the CNN Center to try to bring a spotlight and say we as students support this family. Family.
They came out on us there.
They came out there. So the families, this is their third march. This is the one they're calling for, because the first one was called for by organizers, the second one by students. Now the family said, nah, we got to do this. And we want Bankhead Nation.
That's
we want every part of Atlanta.
No one to be there.
Show up, you know, because that's they call. And so we rocking with them. We're saying we're going to be with you every step of the way, because we understand that this system, it only serves us when we end up disrupting it and making folk uncomfortable.
That's right.
If we just allow them to do what they
and
do,
just keep waiting,
they'll wait us out.
Yep.
And that's what they've been trying to
until
do.
we go into the grave.
But they don't understand. Because I mean, you know, they probably ain't just never met no Anitra. I don't give up easy. You know, I ain't never had that
exactly
going.
Because
so, and my mouth has always been big. I'm real loud.
Exactly.
Talk all over the place. Yes.
And your daddy deserves this,
and
man.
He does.
He definitely didn't deserve what happened on the side of the road. But because it did happen, he deserves for people to get out and support you all.
And the clergy, I mean, he's a deacon, right?
Yes.
Not just of that church. When you take on a certain position, it's for the church universal.
Right.
So every pastor, every deacon, every deaconess, every usher board member, every church going person, whether you go to church, the mosque, the elay, whatever, you should be like, whoa, wait a minute now.
Right.
And it took a man who says he's committed to serving God's people.
That's right.
I absolutely
and then it took him, and the family says, march, we best march.
That's right.
We better stand up.
I'm here for it. So this is the march put on by the family, and it's going to be this Saturday. We're starting at Dean Russ Park at 12 o'clock noon.
And we're going to City Hall?
City Hall.
City Hall.
But we also going to have papers that, you know, they can sign for the petition, because that's how serious it is. We want that video release. Like, we want the video release. We not going nowhere. We ain't going to stop. We ain't hiding behind nothing. You're not going to be able to hush us up. You're not going to be able to silence us. We want the video release.
Absolutely. And what are the before we go, what are the odds of the video being released? I know that you have worked quite with
the odds are what the people make them.
Cool.
And I tell folk all the time, I'm proud of what we've built as a law firm. We got 3 offices, 9 lawyers, 30 employees, but the power still rests with the people.
That's right.
Okay.
And that's, we move how we move because we know that the people had a power to change things, because we see in this system that we're in, we see how they devalue our lives every day. You get hit and rear-ended and you go get some treatment, your injury is going to be worth less than the person who got injured up in Buckhead. Not on our watch.
No.
Right? And so we're saying that from top to bottom. We got to resist every aspect of them devaluing us. And so we need the people to make it so. And so we don't hold we don't claim to be, we're the super, we can make this just pop. It's going to be us collectively.
Right. Okay. Let's get this thing
and that's
going.
what we got. We got to get the people out, because just like he said, and we always spoke of that. If it's not you today, then who?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because I looked at the TV and I watched a lot of stuff too. I never thought that this would be in my lap or at my front door, but it is. So the same way, it may be somebody else, but if we don't stick together as a people, sooner or later it ain't gonna be no more of this.
Right. Do you have something on social media that I can repost or?
Yes, we got stuff on social media that can be reposted. We have an IG page for him at Justice for Johnny Hollman. I post a lot of stuff that I tag people in. I know you posted something, Donna. April Showers. She got different stuff that we post. What's the man? Daxton. He had
Daxton
posted.
Pettis.
Pettis.
Okay,
he posted the marches, and he did a lot of that on there. So, like, if you go to that at Justice for Johnny Hollman, if you will see a lot of stuff. I posted a lot of stuff on there, or like my page is just my personal page, but I still been posting. Nene 789, April Showers have things posted. I know Donna posted stuff on her personal page and with Westside Misfits. So it's a lot of stuff out there.
Okay, because I want to repost the march.
So justice,
Thank you.
yeah, justice for Johnny Hollman. So that's the hashtag that'll be used.
Well, we've been using different hashtags, but I've been using mainly say his name.
Okay.
And then I've also been using the one my son came up with, J for J, which is Justice for Johnny.
Okay. Yeah, because those hashtags really make a difference.
Yes.
And
if you do justice for Johnny Hollman too.
Yeah, like those hashtags make a difference because what you'll want is, even if it's something that's not even associated with what you're doing, you ask people to add that hashtag and trust me, once it starts trending, it gains traction and people want to know what's going on. Hey, what's happening?
Like what's justice for Johnny?
Yes,
people inbox you.
And they're going to be asking. So at the rally on Saturday, because I know for us with Misfits Radio and TV, as a collective, we're going to, of course, push the rally for through this upcoming week.
Okay.
But at the rally, that's going to be something very important to let people know. If you're posting, you're here.
Yes.
Use the hashtag.
Right.
And if they follow me on my Facebook page too, I also have like where they can scan this QR code.
Okay.
I posted on my story. As a matter of fact, it's on there today. But I keep posting and I keep putting it up there. And on my Facebook page, it's Anitra Always Trusting Him Fallings. So they can go on there and they can see it. And I also posted a lot of things on there. So like from my Instagram, it switch over to my Facebook. And I also try to post something about him every single day. And today I posted that QR code that came from Instagram. So if they click on there, they can keep sharing, reposting stuff, sending stuff to us so we can keep putting stuff out there.
Absolutely, man. We're looking to invite a lot of people out to support.
Yes,
you know?
we want the city to come out. They come out for the concerts.
That's right.
They come out for all the other stuff. They come out for these park events. I need them to come out this Saturday at 12 o'clock, Dean Rest Park, so that we can march for justice for my father, Chairman Deacon Johnny Hollman Sr.
That's right. Well, we greatly appreciate you guys. And once again, you all have our deepest condolences.
Thank you.
Know, one thing about burying your parents.
Yes. It ain't easy.
It is not. And she and I both have,
I know.
We've been there.
Yes.
But the thing about it is, man, we're going to continue. You too. So
I lost my father almost 2 years ago, December.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll definitely. We know the kind of support, what the support do for you all as a family, and and I can be honest with you, your sister probably is just like,
But you got to mind you, she's nervous too, because we lost 3 people in 8 months. So we've had 2 to be taken, and 1 was just sick, but we knew that was coming. So my nephew, of course, he got shot at the end of December of 2022. In the result of his gunshot wounds, he later died, December the 31st. So my sister's still living with that pain.
Exactly.
So,
it's traumatizing.
Of course, from January, like from late December to now, it's August, we would have never been expecting that. My dad was really like trying to get justice and help my sister to get justice for her son.
Yeah.
So when she see the police now, she's very frantic. She up and left her house, and she's not, she didn't stay there. She got another place. Yeah. Yes, and then my children, they are going through it. My nephew, he's going through it. I had to even call, try to get him counseling and stuff like that. So they having a hard time dealing with it. Like even when I come to events like this, like my son, I know you just asked about him. He in the car, we don't drive by ourselves anymore. We don't go nowhere by ourselves. I'm so nervous now. I hate when they go out now, because I'm like, did you call me? That was one of the things, my dad always told them, if something go wrong, always call. So they know to call and put somebody on speaker, because we got to hear what's going on. But now it's to a different level. It's more, intense. And so with that, I know my sister have health issues, and it really makes her nervous. She don't mind doing the walks, but her anxieties, it be through the roof because of this situation.
On high alert, man. One thing about it, and it's human nature, honestly, to deal with being on high alert and the PTSD that comes with all of the traumatizing things that can happen.
Right.
And that's why that support is very important, especially for the families who honestly who asking for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you all don't ask for much.
No.
So with you all stepping out of the box and asking, I need you all to support me, I think a lot of people will be there.
Okay.
And we'll come out in numbers, and like you said, we'll have petitions for people to sign and things of that nature. And we greatly appreciate you guys for coming on.
But thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it.
Thank
you
you.
all will see, you'll see some excerpts from our interview. And like I said, we're live on everything from YouTube to Roku TV. We're live on Misfits Radio. That's the name of our radio station. Yes. We're also live on Facebook, Instagram, and in 2 days, we will, all of the interviews will be up. And we're everywhere you want your art to be. If you look up Misfits Radio on TV, you'll see us there.
Okay.
Hey. All right, thank you guys so much, man, and we'll speak with you soon.
All right, thank you.
DJ Lab, you ready? All right.
Get in the mix with the Westside Misfits every Sunday from 3 to 5.
Yo. Hey, we in Westside Misfits. Yo, you're independent, this the mix, you need to get up in it. 3 to 5, the show be lit from start to finish. Hit 'em up to slide through and promote your business. DJ Lab known to keep the hottest record spinning. Mix a lot and Tay Mac discuss the hottest topic. There's not a 2000 to let you know what's really poppin'. Miss Slick gon' make sure she get the angles right. Making moves even though she staying out of sight. Check the website, Misfits Media Group. Keep it 100 cause that's how they gon' give it to you. Something for anyone and everyone from every walk. 365, 24/7, got music and talk. Sundays, you know we getting in the mix. 3 to 5 with Westside Misfits. Kick facts, play music, and talk slick. Tell a friend to get in